Hi, I'm Sareta Puri. I'm a plant-based chef and teacher, and I'm really excited to be joining Eating Better to celebrate Diwali through some delicious plant-based recipes that we're making today at the Hackney School of Food. Diwali is a South Asian festival of light which is celebrated either at the start of November or the end of October, and it's to really celebrate darkness being conquered by light, good winning over evil. And we do this by having celebrations full of colour, light, candles, fireworks, and most importantly, bringing everyone together to eat and share delicious food. And no Diwali would be complete without sweets. We're doing a recipe for mango burfi, which is a typically sweet Indian dessert. It's usually quite fudgy and quite creamy, and you can flavour it in any way that you want. This recipe is a plant-based version, so we're not using any dairy, milk or eggs. Instead, we're getting that delicious creaminess from ground desiccated coconut and ground oats, which also makes it a nut-free recipe. Now, with burfi, they can be flavoured sort of in any different flavour that you want. We're using mango because it's that delicious sweet taste that is synonymous with South Asian cooking. And then we're also getting that hint of coconut in there with the desiccated coconut. And then for extra flavour, we've got a hint of cinnamon. You could also use cardamom and a tiny bit of added sweetness with agave syrup. And you can use any other type of syrup too. So you're going to need a medium-sized mixing bowl for this, and you will also need to grind some of your ingredients in advance. So I've already done that. So just to let you know that if you're doing this in advance, you will have already grinded your desiccated coconut and your oats. So the first step is we're going to use our mango puree. So the mango puree comes in a tin. You can get it in any South Asian supermarket or store, and it's also in the world food aisle of a lot of larger supermarkets. And you get quite a large tin for only about £3, so it lasts a really good length of time. So you just want to put this into your large bowl. Make sure you get all of that delicious juice in there. And then you're just going to fold in your other ingredients. So first of all, we've got 80 grams here of desiccated coconut, which I've ground down a little. You could keep it how it is and keep it quite chunky. I'm going to add that into the mango, which was around 125 grams of mango. And then we're going to add in our ground oats. So if you want this to be a gluten-free dessert, you can use gluten-free oats, otherwise just use regular porridge oats. And again, these are ground down and it's the same amount as the coconut, it's 80 grams there. And then for a little bit of flavour, like I mentioned, we're going to have a little tiny quarter teaspoon or so of cinnamon. That's kind of up to you depending on how much you want to use. Cardamom is also delicious here. And then for a bit of added sweetness, we have some agave syrup. So you want to stir this until you've combined all the ingredients. You want the colour of the mango puree to come through, and you want it to have this thick, almost sort of fudge-like texture. So it should sort of stick to your spatula or your spoon, and it will be a pale yellow colour. Now, if it's looking too sticky, you can add a little bit more oats, or you could add a little bit more coconut. The coconut has naturally got a little bit of oil in it, so it will still be a little bit silky. So I would recommend adding more oats if you want it to be less sticky. And if it's looking too dry, which I don't think it really can be too dry, but if you want it a bit softer, just add a little bit more of that mango puree. And the more mango puree you add, the more of that orange colour will come out and pop. So this is what your mixture should look like. And if you're feeding lots of people, then you can double this, quadruple this recipe, and you'll have lots of burfi. This will make us about 9 bite-sized chunks. So you just want to put it either onto a board, or you can put it straight onto a large baking tray. Just make sure that whatever you're rolling it on will fit the edges of your rolling pin. And it will be a bit sticky, at this stage, but then what we do is we put it into the fridge and it firms up really nicely. So once you've moved on to your tray, you can flatten it down a little bit, you can sort out the edges, and you just want to try and get it as flat and as even as possible. You'll notice that it's already beginning to firm up a little bit because the air is getting cooler and that oil is thickening from the coconut. And then if you want to add a little bit of like extra beauty to it, we can use some of the desiccated coconut unground. Just sprinkle a little bit on the top. So this is ready to go in the fridge with the lovely desiccated coconut on the top. You could also put some roasted cashews or almonds or pistachios if you want to have nuts on the top of that one too. So this is our mango burfi. It will be cut into lovely bite-sized pieces once it comes out the fridge. And this is just one of several popular treats and sweets that are enjoyed during Diwali. Other ones that you might have seen or that you might want to check out are laddus, which are similar to this, but they're usually in a ball shape. And again, they can be all sorts of flavors. They might be coconut or pistachio. And there's also gulab jamun, which is balls made from semolina or gram flour, and they're in a really nice syrupy sauce. And then finally, one of the maybe most famous Indian sweets is jalebi, and that is sort of a bright orange, looks like spirals, and that's deep fried and then coated in a sugary syrup. So recommend not having too many of them. Probably go for this healthier option here, which is full of lots of tasty ingredients.